Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me once again on our series on how to master Linux security. My name is Omar Michael, and today we are going to start episode 3. We'll be covering how to change SSH default port so as to further strengthen our server. I got feedbacks from one of my subscriber that said I should demo how to load SSH private key to pt3 terminal. So I'm going to just demonstrate that before we kick into today's topic. So I have opened my pt3 configuration, and here this is my VM with default port 22 SSH. So if you have generated your public key, you have loaded your public key, you have watched episode 1 and episode 2 of this series, and you still do not understand or don't know how to load your private key to your terminal, if you are using PuTTY, this is how to do it. So on your PuTTY terminal, go to SSH, click the plus sign beside the SSH, you click the plus sign beside auth, which is an abbreviation for authentication. You click the plus sign to expand it, click on credentials. Here you browse to the location where you have stored your private key. So browse to the location and look for the key here. So here is my key. I've already just click on it and click on open. It will display here. Then scroll up, click on session, give it a name, give that your particular server a name for easy reach. Give it a name. You have entered the IP and the port number, then click on save and then click open. So after you have loaded your private key to your terminal, you have, and you click on open, you have this window open for you. Then click enter your username and your password. Alright, so that's it. So back to today's episode. What we're going to be doing is setting up a new SSH port, that is changing it from the default port 22 to any port number of your choice. Alright, so briefly what we're going to be doing today is just modifying files, whitelisting the new ports, and restarting services. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, I'll say let's jump right in. But before we do that, before we start the process, please kindly subscribe if you've not, and also drop your comments. I would like to get your feedback, and big thank you to all that have subscribed and those that are sending in their feedback. Thank you very much. Alright, so I'm going to start the process of checking listening ports in the server. Sudo ss. So this command, in coming episodes, I will teach us what the commands are used for. Okay, but however, this is just to check the ports that are listening in the server, whitelisted ports in the server. Okay, all right, I'm doing for all of them. Okay, so if I want to filter for just port 22, I'll just pipe to grep 22. So you see it's listening, port 22 listening here, just like here, listening on port, okay, on both, sorry, on both IPv4 anywhere and IPv6. Okay, port 22. So it's allowed and it's listening. Okay. Alright, so that's it. Then the next thing you should check for is the status of your firewall, which is UFW. So I'm going to say sudo UFW status. Alright, it's inactive. Okay, so we've checked those two. So for UFW, first off, let's enable UFW because we're going to need it. This is our firewall. We're going to need it to allow to check our firewall role and also to allow the new port we're going to set up and then deny the old port number. Okay, all right, so let's just enable this sudo UFW enable and say why. So it's going to just warn you, command may disrupt existing SSH connection. Proceed with operation, yes or no. Say yes. So what it's just telling you now is warning you that if you exit out of this your current terminal without first of all whitelisting port 22, you may not be able to connect to the server with SSH. All right, so what we're going to do to avoid being locked out of our server is to first off just whitelist port 22. Let me just do this. Okay, let me check the status of UFW first so you understand what I'm saying. Sudo UFW status. You see, it's active and no port is whitelisted. Now, by default, SSH port is always enabled from the cloud console. So on your server, you have to enable it. So if you should log out right now after enabling UFW without whitelisting port 22, you will not be able to use SSH to connect to your server. All right. So what we're going to do now is whitelist port 22. Sudo UFW allow 22/TCP. Okay, so let's check the status once again. All right, so both IPv4 and IPv6 is allowed here. All right, that's done. That's the first approach. Then let's clear the screen. Next step is to modify the configuration file. Okay, remember we have not whitelisted the port, the new port or the proposed port. All right, so let's modify the configuration file and then edit some parameters in that configuration file. Okay, so first and first, let's take a backup of the configuration file. Sudo cp/etc/ssh/ let's go config. Okay, so today is 5th 05/04/2025. Okay, so we've backed up that file. So let's list it to confirm. Let's list it to confirm. Okay, so this is the file we just backed up. right now. This is a file, right? Okay, so that's done. Now let's modify the file. Sudo nano. I'm using the nano editor. You can use vi editor. It's just your preference, okay? Okay. All right, here. So let's scroll down, look for the parameter port 22. See, it's commented out, it's commented. So you uncomment it, and then the port that you want to start using for your SSH connection, put it there. Let's say we remove this one and change it to 3222. That will be our new port. All right. So Control S will save, Control O to save, Control O save, then Control X to exit. All right. So we've done that. And next thing we're going to do now is to then whitelist that particular port. That's port 3222, right? You can confirm that by sudo cat /etc/ssh. Sorry, I'm just trying to, be really cautious because you don't make mistake with this file. Okay, so the line that we edited was here, port, where you have 3222. Okay, so we are confirmed. So let's whitelist that port. Sudo ufw allow. We are allowing traffic through that port now. Allow TCP. So to allow traffic to that port. So all right, so let's check UFW status. Sudo UFW status. Okay, so we see our new port here. Anywhere is allowed for both IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, all right, so we've done this now. The next thing is to restart or reload UFW in order for our configuration to be activated. We restart the UFW service and the SSH service. Okay, so we're going to restart UFW service now. Sudo UFW reload. Okay, reloaded. Now we'll restart the SSH daemon service now. Sudo systemctl restart sshd. Okay, so this done now. All right, so I'm going to log in now with the new port number. All right, so this is my VM. I will load this, and the port number that we assigned was 3222. Okay, and I click open. I enter my username. You see it connected using that port that we assigned. Okay, Vagrant as the username, and I'll put my public key, my passphrase rather. Okay, you see I'm in. All right, so I'll advise you try it out, and whatever your challenge is, you can drop it in the comment section. All right, so that we have done. In our next episode, we're going to further explore other options that will boost the strength of our server. Okay, Alright, so thank you very much for watching. I hope to hear from you. Please don't forget to subscribe and share and like. Turn on your notification bell for future updates. Thank you very much.